for disasters that destroy talented people, for antidotes at end of stories.
Human beings are not destroyed only by fate. More often, they are destroyed by themselves. Ancient thinkers observed that human life contains 4 great disasters. To avoid them is already a blessing. To pass through them unscathed is true wisdom. Among all figures in Chinese history, one man embodied this wisdom more clearly than any other. You can see my previous videos for more of his detail. Here are some recap who this man is. His name is Fan Li. An advisor to King Gojian of Yu. A prime minister and merchant. A man who rose to the peak of power and wealth. And yet walked away alive. Fan Li lost all his wealth 3 times. Became rich 3 times. Served as a top statesman. And lived his final years as an ordinary man. Not because he was the most talented, but because he understood how to avoid the 4 disasters of being human. These 4 disasters are not sudden catastrophes, they are slow poisons. What makes Fan Li profound is that he escaped all 4, repeatedly, across politics, war, and commerce. Below is a deeper, expanded explanation in plain language. Before his death he. First disaster. Disaster of the mouth. First mouth disaster. An uncontrolled Tun-Kei. Calamity enters through the mouth. The legalist reformer Shang Yang transformed the state of Qin. Historically, his reforms were correct. They strengthened the state, disciplined the people, and laid the foundation for unification. Yet Shang Yang met one of the most brutal deaths in Chinese history. Why? Because while reforming the system, he left no escape route for himself. His reforms were undeniably successful, but he had one incurable flaw: he spoke too bluntly, showing no consideration for others' feelings or tact. He directly pointed at the old powerful figures and angrily rebuked them: if you parasites aren't purged, the Qin state will never have peace and tranquility. His words may have been true. But truth spoken without mercy creates enemies, not allies. After hearing this, wasn't this tantamount to driving someone to their death? Sure enough, after Duke Shao of Qin, who had protected him, died, he was retaliated against by those he had offended so badly, who tore his entire family apart. Those officials, civil and military alike, took revenge. Shang Yang was destroyed by the very system he built. Now compare this with Fan Li. He was an official in the state of Yu, and he knew perfectly well that his boss, Gojian, was petty and would hold a grudge against anyone who offended him. But Fan Li never said it directly. When Fan Li advised the court of Yu, he often did so kneeling. Even if his role is prime minister, second highest position, he treat the court, political friend and enemy, with high respect. Not because he was weak, but because he understood. Advice that survives is advice that can be accepted. Wisdom does not shout. It bends. Countless people today, after a few drinks, start speaking recklessly, criticizing their superiors and gossiping about colleagues, seeking momentary pleasure but inadvertently ruining their careers. Second mouth disaster. Words that exceed one's position. This is not merely talking too much. It is speaking beyond your role, timing, or safety. In ancient courts, words were weapons. A single sentence could trigger suspicion from rulers, invite jealousy from peers, mark you as a future threat. Fan Li understood that truth spoken at the wrong time becomes danger. He advised: do not show all your intelligence. Do not correct superiors publicly. Do not reveal plans before necessity demands it. Speech is not neutral, it changes power balance. Every sentence does one of 3 things: raises your perceived intelligence, reveals your intentions, alters how others position themselves against you. Fan Li understood this deeply. Speech reshapes hierarchy. The most dangerous words are correct ones. The greatest irony. Being right is often more dangerous than being wrong. Correct advice highlights the ignorance of others, creates comparison, generates resentment. Fanley observed that many capable men were destroyed not for treason, but for clarity. They spoke when silence would have preserved harmony, when timing demanded restraint, when credit should have been diffused. Truth spoken without shelter becomes accusation. The mouth reveals the mind before the outcome is secure. Words expose ambition, confidence, discontent, strategic thinking. Once exposed, others adjust. Fanley avoided revealing long-term plans, full intelligence, future positioning. He knew that unfinished success must remain invisible. A plan spoken too early invites interference. This is why he often acted quietly, letting results speak only when reversal was impossible. Why the talented are most at risk. Mediocre people are ignored. Talented people are watched. When a capable person speaks freely, others listen closely. Motives are scrutinized. Words are remembered. Fanley warned that talent plus loose speech accelerates downfall. The more capable you are, the more silence becomes armor. Speech creates commitments you may need to escape. Once spoken, words lock your reputation. Fix expectations. Reduce flexibility. Fanley valued exit freedom above consistency. He avoided statements that bound him to positions, forced him to defend opinions, made retreat appear like failure. Silence preserves optionality. This is a strategic insight modern thinkers often miss. Court politics lesson: credit is poison. In ancient states, claiming credit was lethal. Fanley let others receive praise, allowed rulers to feel sole ownership of victory, avoided becoming indispensable in public view. Many ministers died after success, not before it. Why? Because success plus recognition equals threat. The mouth that claims merit invites elimination. Modern parallel, for example. Today, the disaster of the mouth appears as oversharing strategy at work, publicly correcting leaders, broadcasting ambition too early, posting opinions that lock identity, talking more as stress increases. The modern court is digital, corporate, financial, but the logic is unchanged. Visibility without protection invites attack. People lose careers, partnerships, and capital not because they are wrong, but because they are too visible. Oversharing ideas, intentions, or criticism creates enemies before rewards arrive. Core wisdom. Silence is not weakness. It is strategic patience. Fanley practiced selective speech, only when outcome favored him. Delayed speech, after results were irreversible. Indirect speech, through action, not declaration. The first disaster is not talking too much. It is speaking without understanding the cost of being heard. Fanley survived because he mastered this paradox. Those who speak the least often move the most. He spoke less, but each word carried weight. 2. Disaster of the body, overexertion and exhaustion. This is the disaster of burning yourself as fuel. Fanley observed that many capable men work relentlessly during success, ignore rest, health, and rhythm, collapse when pressure peaks. Exhaustion is not sudden, it is accumulative. The body does not collapse in one day. It collapses after many ignored signals. Sleep shortened just for now. Stress normalized as responsibility. Illness dismissed as inconvenience. Recovery postponed until after success. Fanley observed that capable men often fall not at the beginning, but after victory, when vigilance drops and strain peaks. The body keeps accounts even when the mind refuses to. Why exhaustion is especially dangerous for the capable. Mediocre people rest because they must. Capable people push because they can. This is the trap. Talented individuals carry more responsibility, are relied upon more heavily, are praised for endurance, become indispensable, and therefore overused. Fan saw that usefulness invites exploitation, sometimes by others, often by oneself. Exhaustion is not a sign of dedication. It is a sign that limits are being violated. Exhaustion makes you replace strategy with effort. One of Fan Li's sharpest insights. When strategy weakens, effort increases. People who are exhausted work longer instead of thinking better, react instead of positioning, push harder instead of stepping back. This creates a vicious cycle. Exhaustion, poorer decisions, more effort needed, deeper exhaustion. Fan Li broke this cycle by stepping away early, not late. Exhaustion corrupts judgment before it breaks the body. The most dangerous phase is not collapse, it is distorted perception. Before the body fails, patience shortens. Risk tolerance increases. Overconfidence replaces clarity. Long-term thinking disappears. Fan Li valued clear timing above brute effort. A tired mind mistakes urgency for importance. When the body is depleted, wisdom becomes noisy. This is why exhausted leaders make reckless decisions, and generals overextend after winning battles. He believed the body is the first capital. He rated the body as an asset, not a tool. A tool is used until it breaks. An asset is preserved to generate future value. Without healthy body, talent becomes irrelevant. Strategy decays. Judgment weakens. In war, he withdrew when victory was secured. In wealth, he exited when accumulation became heavy. In politics, he vanished when recognition peaked. Modern parallel. Burnout masquerades as ambition. People chase growth without renewal, productivity without recovery, until the system breaks. Today, the disaster of the body appears as chronic burnout disguised as ambition. Hustle culture glorifying depletion. Leaders who cannot step away. Investors glued to screens, unable to disengage. Creators who lose clarity but keep producing. The tragedy is not exhaustion itself. It is exhaustion without awareness. Core wisdom. A man who cannot preserve himself cannot preserve success. Fan Li's thinking aligns with Daoist rhythm. Activity must alternate with stillness. Expansion must be followed by contraction. Use must be balanced by replenishment. A river that never rests floods its banks. A bow kept fully drawn loses strength. Endurance is not constant tension, it is correct release. The second disaster of the body is not dying from work. It is living too long in a state that erodes judgment, timing, and self-preservation. 3. Disaster of greed and obsession. Wanting more cause you losing everything. Qin Shi Huang conquered 6 kingdoms and became the first emperor of China. Yet even absolute power did not satisfy him. He still sought immortality. Elixirs of eternal life. Victory over death itself. To challenge heaven is the highest form of greed. Another example, He Shun. He accumulated over 800 million taels of silver. Yet still embezzled soldiers' wages. His end was inevitable. His wealth confiscated. His life taken. His name forever synonymous with corruption. Another example is about Li Si. Before being executed by being cut in half at the waist, Li Si wept and said, "I wish I could return to the past. Leave the eastern gate. And hunt with a yellow dog again." In his youth, Li Si was only a minor official managing a granary. His life was stable and sufficient. But obsession consumed him. Obsession with superiority. Obsession with status. Obsession with power. That obsession led him to betray and destroy Han Fei, his fellow student, entangle himself in palace intrigue, and finally watch his entire family exterminated. Fan Li's son committed murder in the state of Chu, a crime punishable by death according to the law. Fan Li had extensive connections and could have easily saved him with a single word. However, he didn't do so. Instead, he sent his younger son with money to ransom the man. Why? He said, obsession is like sand in your hand, the tighter you grasp it, the faster it slips away. Look at how many parents these days, forcing their children to be number one in their exams, even selling their possessions to buy a house in a good school district. The result? The child becomes depressed, the adults become anxious, and the whole family suffers. What's the point? After you defeated Wu, he resigned immediately, relinquished power, even let go of Shi Shi, the woman associated with his greatest achievement. He understood a brutal truth. Helping to build a world is possible. Ruling it alongside the ruler is not. Fan Li warned. When the moon is full, it wanes. When water is full, it overflows. When a human is full, disaster arrives. After his life as prime minister, he became a merchant. Fan Li is famous for becoming rich 3 times, and losing it 3 times, by choice. Why? Because he believed. Wealth attracts attention. Attention attracts danger. Danger invites seizure, betrayal, or political suspicion. He taught that wealth has an expiration date. When wealth peaks, sell. Disperse. Withdraw. Not because wealth is evil, but because holding too long turns blessing into bait. Wealth is not static, it alters the social field. The moment wealth becomes visible, 3 things happen automatically. 1. Eyes gather, from rulers, officials, competitors, relatives. 2. Expectations rise, donations, favors, loyalty, taxes. 3. Justifications form, reasons to take, regulate, accuse, or seize. Fan Li saw that wealth reclassifies you. From private individual public resource. From participant target. Poverty hides you. Wealth announces you. This announcement is the beginning of danger. Why wealth peaks are the most dangerous moment. Most people think danger lies in scarcity. Fan Li observed the opposite, danger concentrates at abundance. At the peak of wealth, you are most visible. Others feel most justified acting against you. You appear least able to complain. This is why merchants are taxed after success. Officials are purged after victory. Entrepreneurs are regulated after dominance. Fan Li exited at the top, not the bottom. The moment you feel secure is when others feel threatened. Fan Li's radical practice, voluntary loss. Fan Li famously became wealthy, gave it away or dispersed it, started again elsewhere. Not once, 3 times. Why voluntary loss? Because chosen loss preserves control. Losing by choice keeps dignity. Losing by force leaves resentment and danger. Losing early preserves future opportunity. Fan Li treated wealth like a crop. Harvest fully. Clear the field. Move before soil is exhausted. What you release cannot be taken from you. Wealth creates psychological decay before external threats. The third disaster is not only external, it is internal. As wealth accumulates, risk perception dulls. Identity fuses with possessions. Fear of loss replaces clarity. Exit becomes emotionally impossible. At this stage, people defend bad positions. Refuse to downsize. Overstay markets. Ignore warning signs. Family avoided this by never letting wealth become identity. He remained mobile, mentally and physically. The hidden link between wealth and power: suspicion. In ancient states, large private wealth implied independent influence, potential rebellion, loss of state control. Rulers tolerated wealth only while it remained small or useful. Family understood this political truth. Wealth plus independence equals suspicion. So he distributed wealth quietly, avoided building permanent power bases, refused visible dominance. Many rich men died not because they rebelled, but because they could have. Modern parallel. Today, the disaster of wealth appears as investors who never take profit, founders who refuse exits, families destroyed by inheritance battles, individuals trapped maintaining lifestyles, leaders who cling to power, wealth attracting lawsuits, regulation, and social pressure. The mistake is not accumulation. It is failure to plan release. They don't lose because they failed, but because they stayed. Core wisdom. Knowing when to leave is more valuable than knowing how to gain. Most people ask, how much more can I gain? Family asked, at what point does holding become dangerous? This is the difference between rich people and survivors of wealth. The third disaster is not losing money. It is holding wealth past its safe season. Wealth is safest when it does not stay long enough to own you. 4. Disaster of status, fame that refuses to step down. This is the most subtle and deadly disaster. Heaven punishes those who stand too tall. The great general Han Xian was a military genius. He knew very well that Emperor Liu Bang feared and envied him. Yet Han Xian continued to live as a powerful king, with visible confidence, without diminishing himself. This was not ignorance. It was refusal to shrink. At the end, Han Xian died. He was invited to the palace, participating in a ceremonial event. He entered unarmed, without suspicion. Once inside the palace, Han Xian was immediately seized, accused of plotting rebellion, executed on the spot. Historical records state he was killed inside the palace, without a public trial. Soon after, his entire clan was exterminated. This was not justice. It was preventive elimination. Han Xian did not die because he rebelled. He died because his reputation was too great. His past services were unforgettable. His existence itself was destabilizing. High status creates envy below, fear above, pressure from all sides. Han Xian was not executed for what he did, but for what he might represent. That is why his death so tragic, but inevitable. And what did Fanli do? Fanli helped King Gojian reclaim his kingdom. Then he disappeared. Why? Because history shows those who receive credit for victory are often eliminated after it. Rulers tolerate usefulness, not independence. Fanli understood that achievement creates danger, not safety. Fanli taught the opposite. Do not wear luxurious clothes in public. When meeting others, bow and humble yourself. When wealthy, dress plainly. Sit among beggars without distinction. This was not false modesty. It was self-preservation. To rise quietly is safe. To shine too brightly is fatal. When Fanli warned about the disaster of status, he was pointing to the most deceptive danger of all. Wealth can be hidden. Words can be restrained. The body can be rested. But status announces itself even when you say nothing. Status is visibility you cannot turn off. Status is not what you claim, it is what others see. Once you rise, your actions are interpreted. Your silence is suspected. Your presence alters the room. High status means superiors feel watched. Peers feel compared. Subordinates feel constrained. Even doing nothing becomes meaningful. Status removes neutrality. Fan Li understood that visibility itself creates enemies, even without intent. Why status is more dangerous than wealth? Wealth attracts desire. Status attracts fear. A wealthy man may lose money. A high-status man threatens hierarchy. In ancient courts, a minister with military credit, popular support, strategic intelligence was not a helper, he was a future risk. Fan Li knew that rulers tolerate usefulness, but eliminate potential rivals. The higher you stand, the fewer mistakes you are allowed. The fatal moment, after victory, not before. This is the historical pattern Fan Li grasped clearly. Before success you are needed. During struggle you are protected. After victory you are evaluated. Once the crisis ends, rulers ask, why is he still here? Many brilliant figures died after winning wars, not losing them. Fan Li helped restore the state of you. Then he disappeared. Not because he was ungrateful, but because he understood timing. Achievement without exit is provocation. Status creates a no-win psychological trap. High status distorts perception in two directions. Internally, ego attaches to role. Identity fuses with title. Leaving feels like loss. Externally, others test your authority. Mistakes are magnified. Neutral actions are politicized. At this stage, staying is dangerous. Leaving feels humiliating. Fan Li escaped before this trap closed. He left while departure still looked voluntary. Why? Loyalty does not protect high status. Many believe loyalty guarantees safety. Fan Li knew better. History shows loyal ministers executed, faithful generals exiled, honest advisors silenced. Why? Because loyalty does not erase capability. A ruler fears not betrayal, but replacement. The most loyal man is still dangerous if he is competent. Fan Li's core insight: status must be temporary. Fan Li treated status like a borrowed garment. A bridge, not a home. A tool, not an identity. He used status to accomplish objectives, stabilize situations, create openings. Then he put it down. What you cling to defines what can destroy you. Modern parallel. Today, this disaster appears as executives who become too powerful, founders who refuse to step aside, advisors who overshadow leaders, public figures trapped by their image, leaders who outgrow their organizations, professionals whose title outpaces protection. The modern court may be corporate, political, or digital. But the logic is unchanged. Visibility without exit equals vulnerability. Core wisdom. In Daoist rhythm. Rise, peak, withdraw. Act, complete, release. Fan Li embodied this principle. He did not ask, how high can I go? He asked, when does staying become dangerous? The greatest victory is to leave before you are pushed. The fourth disaster is not losing status. It is believing status is safety. Fan Li survived because he understood a truth few accept. The highest wisdom is to step down while applause is still warm. This principle aligns with Daoist rhythm. Fullness invites decline. Visibility invites attack. Completion demands withdrawal. Nature never holds a peak. The sun sets after noon. The tide recedes after rising. The bow relaxes after release. Human systems are no different. Trying to freeze a peak is what creates collapse. Fan Li's 4 antidotes are specifically designed to treat the above 4 diseases. Fan Li not only pointed out the root cause of the illness, but also provided a prescription. 1. Before you speak, think about it 3 times in your mind. Should I say this? Will it offend someone? Can I say it in a better way? If you think about it this way, you can hold back 9 out of 10 sentences. 2. If you want something, wait 3 days. If you still want it after 3 days, then go get it. However, you'll find that 80% of the time, you won't want it anymore after 3 days. 3. When you feel triumphant, first look at your feet. Is your foot on flat ground or a cliff? Is it on rocks or thin ice? Look carefully before you move forward. 4. When you're stuck on a rut, do the math first. Is it worth trading 10 years of your life for this? Is it worth trading the happiness and future of your whole family for this? Once you've figured it out, you'll know whether you should let go or not. Fan Li rose from a poor boy to become the Prime Minister of the Yu Kingdom, and then became the richest man in the land 3 times. He also died peacefully with many children and grandchildren. All of this was thanks to these 4 sentences. More than 2,000 years have passed, and these words still hold true, because human nature has never changed: greed, pride, obsession, and unbridled speech. The ancients had these traits, and so do people today. Therefore, the truly remarkable person is not judged by how high they climb, but by whether they can have the last laugh and land safely. Fan Li proved with his life that the highest level of skill is not about conquering others, but about strictly disciplining oneself and managing oneself from beginning to end. And that is why history remembers him, not as a victim of success, but as its rare escapee. The man who 100 times wiser even than Zhu Kuliang.
Let's journey together for more Daoism stories. Question and suggestion are encouraged.